computer. Cool. Folks see the PowerPoint? Sorry, the Google Slides.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah, January community meeting. Thanks for being here. If you're watching online later, thanks for stopping by and checking out what we're doing. We'll go through our pretty typical agenda. If you didn't check out the December meeting, we went through kind of overall 2022 strategy, and so that's a good one to check out. You can also just kind of page through various things on the YouTube video there if you want to skip ahead to that and see what our kind of overall goals for the year are. We'll talk a little bit about that today and how we're going to start kicking off some of that work, but otherwise we'll jump into the normal updates with core values of transparency, safety, community, and action. As to nobody's surprise, there have been no major changes to our approach to show status for COVID-19 since December. The world is not getting better in this respect right now. Baltimore City remains high community transmission. There's no removal of the indoor mask mandate, and at this point, even if there was, I don't think we would do anything indoors. So at this point right now, our in-person shows remain modified. You can always check that document out to see the latest kind of information on local regulations and cases and vaccine rates and stuff like that. But the summary is indoor shows are postponed indefinitely. Outdoor shows, we technically would consider at this time, although we're not even really investigating that closely, and we might be even reticent to do those right now. But right now the winter weather is preventing that either way. Of course, online shows continue unhindered, which is great. Speaking of online shows, kind of key committee updates for this month. A lot of stuff going on in the programming space. So Millie, who's here, is leading our collaboration with the Armorer, which we just announced, to bring their barracks program to a collaboration with Highwire Improv, where you sign up, you get to be put on an improv team. It's low stakes. You get to meet some new improviser friends, do some shows. It'll be 6 shows in season 6 every other Wednesday. And some of those teams have gone on to do other things, but you don't have to. You don't have to get a coach. You don't have to do anything too difficult. You just get to come and do improv with some people who are also excited about doing online improv. So super excited for that. Thank you, Millie, for kind of taking the charge on all of that. It's really good. We already have over 10 signups, which is exciting. So that will be a part of our season 6 programming. Season 6 submissions are open until the 17th, after which we'll kind of reach out to teams and get the season 6 schedule put together. It's going to look structurally pretty similar to season 5. Typical show days will be Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. Wednesday, every other Wednesday, we'll do the barracks shows. Friday will be Black Joy Fridays. We'll generally take Saturdays off, and then Sunday we'll have typically international shows. Probably keep the jam going in the same cadence, but we're also looking at some other jams, some non-quote standard jams that have themes or particular goals to them that might be different times during the week. And we're looking like we're going to have a pretty similar volume of teams. We had about 45 teams this season. I think we'll be a little higher than that for season 5. We've already got about 40 submissions in, which is exciting. Speaking of Black Joy Fridays, Tashika is taking over production of the content for Black Joy Fridays. And so really excited about that, both because Tashika is awesome, but because we should be able to return to weekly shows for Black Joy Fridays. We had some Fridays off this season. So that's going to be really, really great. Super excited that she's taking a role there and keeping it Baltimore, which we're super excited about. On the education side, we have a workshop coming up on the 22nd. It's available with Chris George, called To Improv is Human. So there are some spaces open for that still. So look at it, sign up, tell your friends. And then on the applied improv side, we completed our first class with XP, which is the startup doing math education for middle and high school students, and their model is to take this pre-recorded content and bring high school students who are great at math, teach them some improv skills, and have them facilitate learning sessions with the students. The first section of 4 classes that was taught by Kristen McKenzie and Jonathan Monroe, it went incredibly well. We had some great survey results from that. The kids really, really loved it. And it really has already made an impact in their work. So really, really exciting to see that application of improv. Very, very fun. We'll be kind of working with XP to continue that program as they bring in more students, which is super exciting. And then we have another engagement with a company called Element Fleet. They are a more traditional business. They do like logistics management for delivery and stuff like that. And that Darren Harm brought to us. We're doing a 4-month program with them to help with adaptability and resilience in working in today's world. And that's going to be once a month for 4 months. So kind of some irons in the fire, really excited. Both of those could develop into longer engagements, but we're kind of using this just to get our feet under ourselves, make sure we understand how the operations of this work, how to develop a curriculum, and then work towards our 2022 goals of having multiple clients and a roster of teachers who can do applied improv. So really, really excited there. Speaking of committee work, one of the things we talked about in the 2022 strategy was looking at some different models for how to engage the community in the volunteer work that happens at Highwire. One thing that we're going to experiment with is the idea of a committee season. We found that the season model has been great for performers because they don't feel like they get locked into a potentially never-ending commitment to perform on stage and feel like they might have to keep doing that even if they get busy or if something comes up. And so we're going to trial this short-term burst of committee activity that has a specific goal. It's for a specific period of time, so you kind of know up front what the work is and what the kind of time commitment will be, and hoping that makes it a little bit more palatable and a little bit more easier to kind of get involved when it feels right. We're just going to keep the numbering consistent between seasons. So this will be the committee season 6 along with the Highwire show season 6. We did not want to have to start dealing with committee season 1 and Highwire season 6 and tracking those things over time, but it'll run the same time. So February through April, 6 meetings. You can sign up to be part of those meetings or just kind of work on some projects if they feel interesting to you, and you can report on that asynchronously or both. And the focus for the committee season 6 will be pretty tight, small, one committee, one goal. In the future, we might expand that further, but this one is going to be focused on fundraising, building off the fact that we got the 501c3 in December. We can now start taking on some activities we tried to kick off earlier in 2021, but didn't really kind of build enough momentum towards because we were running into some roadblocks. There are a few specific things that we want to try and work towards over this 3-month period, but of course open to other ideas or things we could add to this list if people feel passionate about it. But the kind of big ones that we've identified are getting us registered with all the places that you need to be registered if you're a nonprofit, everything from nonprofit websites like GuideStar to things that lead into the Facebook integration that let people donate on Facebook. You have to go, submit information to go do those things, and it takes some legwork and some research. The second is searching and starting to build a repository of grants we might be eligible for, where to go find that information, collecting common grant information and responses so we can store that in one place and hopefully decrease the amount of work it will take us to build grant responses in the future, and ideally get through one application just to understand what that process looks like and learn about how it actually works in practice for us. And then the last thing here is to plan some sort of fundraiser with the Kickstarter model in mind of having different donation levels, but not necessarily using the Kickstarter platform. The idea being we would plan for some kind of event, but also plan for a series of donation levels that would be connected to various prizes, some it could be physical swag, some could be experiences, some could just be thank you notes or similar, and starting to put the structure in place for that. Likely that fundraiser might not happen until later in the year when we have the possibility of doing more in-person activities, but we don't know yet. So we're not going to contemplate any specifics here. The committee will figure it out. If you are interested, you can email us at Highwire Improv as always, or reach out to a Highwire person that you know. And last things here, financial details. Exciting stuff here. We brought in money from Applied Improv, and we brought in a lot of donations towards the end of the year following that 501c3 announcement. So both those things are way up. We had a couple of yearly renewals for software fees, so the expenses were up a little bit as well. But we brought in a good amount of money last month, probably the biggest month we've had in 2021, which is exciting. And the kind of overall growth numbers are also trending in the right direction. Very similar story to the last few months. They grow steadily, they go up slowly and surely. We have not had some viral sensation that's been picked up by the news that's given us 10,000 YouTube subscribers. We'll let you know if we do. And with that, at the Q&A section, and thanks for listening. Went pretty quickly, so if there's anything you want me to come back and talk more about, please let me know. Or if there are any questions, I'll take them now. PowerPoint. Yes, please create a viral hit for us. Please create alchemy and generate virality for us. Cool. Thoughts? Anything else?
Thanks again for all that you do, Barry.
Thank you all.
Thank
very,
you.
very excited. And I will turn off the recording and see you all later. We have shows tonight.
Yay.
Yay. Thanks.
Thanks
Thanks
again.
all.